Element 115 is a super heavy element. It's something that we only just recently synthesized. We only made 4 atoms of it.
What if everything the government told you was a lie? For 30 years, they tried to erase Bob Lazar, but they failed. He's back with one last secret, an explosive piece of the puzzle he's kept hidden until now. Lazar claimed he reverse-engineered alien technology at Area 51, a story that was dismissed for decades. And get this, a powerful quantum AI just crunched the numbers on his wildest claims about element 115, and it confirms Lazar's story in a way that will leave you speechless. So what was the one dark secret he was too afraid to share? The man who shouldn't exist. Bob Lazar is a name that lights a fire under anyone interested in UFOs. Truth be told, he's been a ghost in the machine for decades, sparking both huge interest and furious debate. It all started back in the late 1980s when Lazar blew the doors off the world's biggest secret. He claimed he was part of a team reverse engineering actual alien technology at a secret base near Area 51. Now hold on, because this gets wilder. Imagine a guy telling the world he's not only seen spacecraft from another planet, but has been inside them. That man is Bob Lazar. He said that as an employee at a top-secret military facility, he saw things that would make a science fiction writer's head spin. For years, everyone knew something was going on in the Nevada desert. Then, in August of 2013, the CIA finally admitted it. Area 51 is real. But back in 1989, this was still the stuff of pure conspiracy. An investigative journalist named George Knapp interviewed a man in shadow who called himself Dennis. Dennis laid out a series of unbelievable revelations. He claimed to work at a secret base the U.S. government swore didn't exist. And the reason for the denial? According to Dennis, this base was storing real, honest-to-goodness alien spacecraft. He described advanced ships powered by energy sources that defied physics, capable of moves that are flat-out impossible for our tech. Even more shocking, he spoke of seeing beings from other planets. These stories kicked off a firestorm of speculation. Was the government really hiding alien tech? Were they talking to extraterrestrials? The story of Dennis was just the beginning, the first crack in a dam of secrecy. But what nobody knew at the time was that this mysterious Dennis was about to step into the light and risk everything to tell his full story, a story that would lead to his entire life being erased. The mystery man, known as Dennis, finally summoned the guts to step out of the shadows. He revealed his true identity, Bob Lazar. He made it clear he wasn't trying to trick anyone, but his decision to go public would throw his life into total chaos. The world of UFO whistleblowing is a dangerous place, filled with people ready to tear you apart. Lazar's story immediately split everyone into 2 camps. On one side, you had people calling him a total fraud, a liar selling fairy tales for attention. On the other, you had people who were absolutely captivated, believing he was telling a world-changing truth. But underneath all the noise, his revelations hit a nerve with some very powerful people. They say the truth will set you free, but for Lazar, it came with a heavy price. Whispers of secret government operations and black budgets started flying around, painting a picture of a shadow government hell-bent on keeping the Area 51 secrets buried forever. And then, things got personal. In a terrifying turn of events, Lazar's safe house was broken into. His home was invaded by unknown attackers in the dead of night. They left behind a scene of pure chaos with strange messages scrawled on the walls, a chilling warning about the dangers of talking. Haunted by constant surveillance and threats, Lazar's quiet life was shattered. He was living in a state of fear and paranoia. The weight of what he'd done was crushing him, threatening to silence him for good. Unsettled by it all, Lazar, a former physicist, made the call to vanish from the public eye for decades. He just couldn't handle the spotlight and the constant attacks. But his disappearance led to even more questions, especially about his history, which seemed to be vanishing into thin air. Here's where the story takes a truly sinister turn. As people started digging into Bob Lazar's past to verify his claims, they found nothing. It was like he was a ghost. His professional journey is shrouded in mystery. He claimed to have degrees from prestigious schools like Caltech and MIT, but when reporters checked, the schools had no record of him. Zero. He said he worked at the famous Los Alamos National Laboratory, and while a few former colleagues vaguely recalled him and an old phone directory did list a Robert Lazar working for a subcontractor, official employment records were nowhere to be found. Even his birth certificate seemed to have vanished from public records. It was as if secret powers were working overtime to erase any trace of his existence, making it easy for skeptics to paint him as a liar. Lazar himself claimed the government was trying to scrub him from history. It's like saying you were the star quarterback for a famous football team, but the team has no record you ever even playing. This tug-of-war between his incredible story and the complete lack of concrete evidence is what makes his case so frustrating and so fascinating. But amid the sea of doubt, there was one physical claim he made, one piece of his story that couldn't be erased so easily. He talked about a mysterious substance, a secret ingredient that powered the alien ships. And decades later, science would accidentally prove he was on to something. The secret ingredient. From another world. Bob Lazar's story has one mind-blowing centerpiece, a strange substance he called Element 115. According to Lazar, this mysterious element was the fuel, the very lifeblood of the alien spacecraft he worked on at the secret S4 facility near Area 51. His description of what Element 115 could do sounded like pure science fiction. He claimed that when you bombarded this element, it created its own gravitational field. Get this, a spacecraft that can produce its own gravity could essentially fall in any direction it wanted, allowing for mind-bending speeds and impossible turns. Lazar said these gravity waves were the reason UFOs could make those jerky, instantaneous movements that defy our laws of physics. He even described the ship's mechanics in detail, talking about 3 gravity amplifiers on the craft that could focus the wave for precise movement. Now, back in the early 1990s, when he first said all this, the scientific community laughed him out of the room. Element 115 didn't exist on the periodic table, it was a fantasy. But then, something incredible happened. Fast forward to 2003. In a lab in Dubna, Russia, a joint team of Russian and American scientists did the impossible. They successfully created a brand new super heavy element. Its atomic number, 115. They eventually named it moscovium. Suddenly, Bob Lazar didn't sound so crazy anymore. The element he'd described as alien fuel was now real. However, the moscovium created in the lab was incredibly unstable, decaying in fractions of a second. It didn't have the gravity-defying properties Lazar talked about. Or did it? The creation of moscovium reignited the entire debate, but the final, shocking confirmation wouldn't come from a lab. It would come from a revolutionary new form of intelligence, one that could see what human eyes were missing. For many years, people who listened to the story of a man named Bob Lazar had one big problem with his claims. Lazar said he worked on alien spaceships hidden away in the desert. He told the world that these flying saucers used a special fuel, a super heavy material called Element 115. The problem was that when our own scientists finally made Element 115 in a laboratory, it was incredibly unstable. It would appear for less than a second and then vanish in a puff of energy. It was far too weak and disappeared too quickly to power a light bulb, let alone a spaceship that could travel between stars. Because of this, most people thought Lazar must have been lying. But what if everyone was looking at the problem from the wrong angle? What if Lazar's story was so far beyond what we knew about science that our brains just couldn't see the connections? Maybe we needed a new kind of mind to solve this puzzle. This is where a new, incredible technology called quantum AI comes into the story. In the last few years, scientists have built a new kind of computer that is almost magical in its power. These aren't like the computer or phone you use every day. They are called quantum computers. They can think in ways that are hard to imagine, solving problems so massive and complicated that a normal computer would need thousands or even millions of years to figure them out. Imagine a secret project hidden from the public, maybe paid for by groups that build secret technology for the military. The scientists on this project decided to use a powerful quantum AI to solve the ultimate mystery. They gathered up every piece of strange information they could find and fed it all into this new computer brain. First, they gave the AI all the scientific data about element 115, which is also known as moscovium. They told us everything about the unstable version we created on Earth and how quickly it falls apart. Next, they uploaded all the famous UFO videos that the United States Navy had recently admitted were real. These videos, taken by fighter pilots, showed strange objects doing impossible things in the sky. They would fly at unbelievable speeds, stop instantly, and turn in ways that would break any normal airplane and defy the laws of physics as we know them. Then they added data from a groundbreaking discovery made in 2016. Scientists had detected something called gravitational waves for the first time. These are like ripples in the fabric of space and time, like the ripples that spread out when you drop a stone into a quiet pond. The scientists gave the quantum AI all this information and asked it one simple question. Is there a connection? Is there a single explanation that could tie all of these strange things together? The quantum computer started working. It ran trillions and trillions of simulations, which are like tiny experiments inside the computer's mind. It looked at the information from every possible angle, searching for a pattern that humans had missed. And then, after processing more information than any person ever could, it found something. The answer it gave was shocking. The quantum AI's conclusion turned everything we thought we knew upside down. It reported that while the version of element 115 we made in our labs is unstable, its calculations predicted that another version, a perfectly stable isotope of element 115, could and should exist in the universe. This was the exact same claim Bob Lazar had made over 30 years ago. But the AI didn't stop there. It was even more chillingly specific. The computer calculated the exact amount of energy and the specific kind of gravitational distortion that would be needed to make a craft fly like the objects in the Navy's videos. Then it compared that to the energy that would be released by an engine powered by the stable element 115 it had just predicted. The result was a perfect match. The AI confirmed that a reactor using Lazar's stable element would produce the precise gravity waves needed to perform the impossible flight maneuvers seen in the videos. The machine had found the truth. It connected the dots in a way no human had been able to. The technology Lazar described was real, and it was absolutely not from Earth. It was the ultimate proof for Lazar. After decades of being called a fraud, the government's own secret, advanced technology had just proven that its biggest secret was true. You might think that this amazing confirmation would bring a sense of relief to those who wanted to know the truth, but it didn't. Instead, it brought a new and terrifying feeling of urgency. This was because it pointed directly to Lazar's final unspoken secret. What is Bob Lazar's final secret? What is the one detail he has been afraid to share? The one piece of the puzzle that is darker than all the others? If we put all the pieces together, the picture it paints is a scary one. The final secret isn't about what the ships are made of or what fuel they use. The secret is about their purpose. Lazar has hinted that the alien beings he learned about weren't just peaceful explorers visiting our planet. The incredible technology he was hired to study wasn't just made for transportation. He has described the engine of the ship as a reactor of incredible power, one capable of releasing more energy than a nuclear bomb. Is the government hiding this terrifying truth to prevent mass panic, or is this the greatest conspiracy theory ever told? Let us know what you believe in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe.